I'm warning you, back up now.
Showdowns!
You started this, not us.
We are calling the police if this continues.
Tired of your HOA turning every minor issue into a full-blown war? We're exploring if cutting-edge AI could be the ultimate mediator, predicting and preventing disputes from escalating into neighborhood-wide chaos. Get ready to see if algorithms can truly bring peace to the most contentious communities on Earth. It all started with a smart doorbell. A simple piece of technology I installed for security and convenience, just like millions of other homeowners. But in the eyes of my homeowners association, and specifically its self-appointed queen, Karen, I had committed a cardinal sin. She declared all unapproved smart home technology, from my doorbell to my automated sprinklers, a violation of aesthetic uniformity. My doorbell, she claimed, was an unauthorized surveillance device, turning our quiet cul-de-sac into a dystopian panopticon. Suddenly, I was slapped with fines and violation notices, all for trying to bring my home into the 21st century. It was absurd, frustrating, and emblematic of the power trips that define so many HOAs. But instead of just getting mad, I decided to get even. I wasn't just going to fight the system. I was going to use the very essence of modern technology, artificial intelligence, to dismantle their petty kingdom of control from the inside out. This is the story of how I turned their own bureaucratic nonsense against them and used AI to expose the secrets they never wanted anyone to see. To truly understand the battle I was about to wage, you have to grasp the sheer power of modern AI, specifically predictive analytics and machine learning. These aren't just buzzwords from a tech conference. They are the engines driving some of the most complex social systems on the planet. Think about how cities use AI to predict traffic congestion, rerouting cars to prevent gridlock before it even starts. Or consider law enforcement, which uses predictive algorithms to forecast crime hotspots, allowing them to allocate resources more effectively. These systems work by ingesting massive amounts of historical data, learning patterns, and then making startlingly accurate predictions about future events. It's a digital crystal ball, and it's already shaping our world in ways most people don't even realize. My light bulb moment came when I realized that an HOA is, at its core, a complex social system overflowing with data. It's a microcosm of society complete with power structures, conflicts, and most importantly, a massive paper trail. I began to wonder, what if I could apply the same principles of predictive analytics to the notoriously chaotic world of my HOA? What if I could feed an AI every piece of data our association had ever generated? The idea was intoxicating. I envisioned an algorithm trained specifically on the unique brand of dysfunction that governed my neighborhood. My first step was to gather the ammunition. Thanks to state laws and the HOA's own bylaws, every homeowner has the right to access official records. So I formally requested everything. Years' worth of meeting minutes, every complaint log, all violation notices, the complete history of enforcement actions, and even the Architectural Review Committee's approval and denial records. At first, they stonewalled, but a strongly worded letter from a lawyer reminded them of their legal obligations. Soon I was drowning in a sea of PDFs, scanned documents, and disorganized spreadsheets. A treasure trove of bureaucratic chaos. With my digital dragon's hoard of data assembled, the real work began. I employed OCR optical character recognition software to convert the scanned images of old documents into machine-readable text. It was a painstaking process, but essential. Once digitized, I had a massive dataset detailing every squabble, every fine, and every arbitrary decision the board had ever made. I fed all of this into a custom-trained machine learning model. My goal was to teach the AI to think like an HOA board member, but with one crucial difference. It would be perfectly, ruthlessly logical. I designed it to identify patterns and correlations that a human would miss. The AI began its work, sifting through thousands of data points, connecting seemingly unrelated events, and drawing lines between cause and effect. I could almost visualize the process. The AI flagging a spike in parking complaints that always preceded a controversial new rule, or noting how complaints about lawn maintenance mysteriously skyrocketed in the weeks leading up to a board election. It was seeing the invisible threads that held the whole dysfunctional tapestry together. The AI was identifying the microaggressions, the tiny sparks of conflict that, when fanned by the board's inconsistency, inevitably erupted into full-blown neighborhood warfare. The initial findings were nothing short of jaw-dropping. The AI immediately began to uncover a clear, undeniable pattern of selective enforcement. It wasn't just a feeling I had. It was statistically verifiable. The algorithm cross-referenced violation notices with the homeowner directory and board meeting attendance records. It revealed that residents who had previously voted against board proposals or spoken out during public comment sessions were cited for violations at a rate 300% higher than residents who were allies of the current board members. My unauthorized smart doorbell was a perfect example. The AI scanned the architectural request archives and flagged 3 other homes, all belonging to friends of the board president, HOAKaren, that had installed nearly identical smart doorbells without any issue or violation notice. One of them had even been installed 2 years prior. My case wasn't about aesthetic uniformity. It was about personal retribution for questioning HOAKaren's authority at the last annual meeting. But the AI didn't stop at selective enforcement. It delved deeper, analyzing the HOA's financial records against contractor bids and maintenance schedules. It flagged a series of highly suspicious transactions. For years, the landscaping contract had been awarded to a company called Evergreen Perfection. The AI, capable of scanning public business registries in seconds, discovered that Evergreen Perfection was registered to the brother-in-law of the HOA's treasurer. Not only that, but their bid was consistently 40% higher than the other 2 bids submitted each year. The AI even analyzed satellite imagery over time, correlating the dates of service with the actual condition of the common areas, and concluded that the work performed was substandard for the price paid. The HOA wasn't just being run by petty tyrants. It was being fleeced. We were paying a premium for nepotism, and the AI had the receipts to prove it. It laid out the evidence in a clear, irrefutable timeline, complete with financial records, business filings, and a cost-benefit analysis that was utterly damning. Armed with this arsenal of AI-generated reports, I was ready to move from defense to offense. I didn't just want to win my smart doorbell case. I wanted to expose the entire rotten structure for what it was. My first step was to present my findings during the public comment section of the next HOA meeting. The atmosphere was, as usual, tense. HOAKaren began the meeting with a smug announcement about the importance of rule adherence, clearly aimed at me. When my turn came, I didn't raise my voice. I calmly walked to the podium and connected my laptop to the projector. On the screen, I didn't show angry emails or my own biased opinions. I showed the EI-ICE data visualizations. I displayed a network graph showing the connections between board members and favored residents, with red lines indicating a statistically significant pattern of waived violations. I showed the bar chart comparing my illegal doorbell to the 3 identical, unfined doorbells belonging to the board's inner circle. The room, usually filled with bored sighs and quiet chatter, fell silent. You could feel the shift in the air as my neighbors saw the raw data, the cold, hard proof of the hypocrisy they had all suspected but could never prove. Then I moved on to the main event, the financials. I projected the AIS analysis of the landscaping contract. On one side of the screen was the inflated bid from Evergreen Perfection. On the other side was the public record showing its owner was the treasurer's brother-in-law. I showed the graph illustrating the company's bid being 40% higher year after year, and the AI-generated report on the subpar quality of their work. The treasurer's face went from pale to ghostly white. Karen tried to interject, calling my presentation slanderous and based on manipulated data, but I was prepared. I explained in simple terms how the AI worked, that it wasn't an opinion, but a mathematical analysis of their own records. I told them that the data was available for any homeowner to request, and that the software I used could be audited. I wasn't an accuser. I was simply the messenger for an unbiased, logical entity that had found the truth hidden in their own paperwork. The power dynamic in the room had been completely inverted. The board was no longer the all-powerful authority. They were now the ones on trial, and the evidence against them was overwhelming. The fallout was swift and decisive. In the days following the meeting, my AI-generated reports circulated through the neighborhood's email lists and private social media groups like wildfire. The Karen clique was exposed, their power based not on rules, but on cronyism and intimidation. An emergency meeting was called not by the board, but by a petition signed by over 2/3 of the homeowners, a threshold for a recall vote that had never been successfully met before. At that meeting, the treasurer and 2 other board members, including Karen, resigned on the spot rather than face the humiliation of a formal removal. A new interim board was elected, composed of residents who were committed to transparency and fairness. One of their first official acts was to unanimously dismiss the violation notice and fines against my smart doorbell. But the story doesn't end there. The new board asked me to help them integrate a simplified version of my AI system into their official operations. We set up a transparent, public-facing dashboard where any resident could see a summary of violation notices, ensuring that enforcement was applied equally and without bias. The system now flags bids from contractors with potential conflicts of interest, forcing the board to provide a public justification if they choose a bid that isn't the most cost-effective. It's become a tool for accountability, a digital watchdog that keeps the new board honest. It's not about replacing human judgment, but about augmenting it with impartial data, ensuring that decisions are fair, transparent, and in the best interest of the entire community. Our neighborhood is calmer now. Disputes are handled based on the bylaws, not personal vendettas. My smart doorbell is no longer a symbol of defiance. It's a reminder that sometimes the best way to fight an outdated system is not with anger, but with smarter technology and irrefutable truth. The HOAKaren may have banned my smart home tech, but in the end, it was a far more powerful intelligence that exposed their secrets and brought a new era of peace and fairness to our community.